Yakubu Farududdin. He is the Deputy General Secretary of the PNC. And this morning we are going into a very simple but very important issue. We are talking about whether these smaller political parties, what we've come to know as smaller political parties, are prepared to collapse themselves into the bigger political parties and give their support to the bigger political parties, or they think that there is some hope someday to become the third force the Ghanaian people would fall on one day. And also delve into the allegation, and I call it allegation, that these political parties only exist to do the biddings of the bigger political parties. Yakubu, welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Great. So yes, this is the conversation we want to go into. What has been the state of the smaller parties, especially the PNC, in terms of opportunities to become, the winners of any of our elections here in Ghana?
First of all, let me say a good morning to you, and a good morning to cherished listeners, most especially PNC members who are listening to us. I can see there's a statement you made, particularly the name you call our parties, that smaller political parties.
Yeah,
I think that should be corrected.
Well, okay, so let me explain.
Minority.
Let me say smaller because of your performances at the polls from 1992 up until now. Is that fair?
It's not fair.
Okay.
If you look at the 1992 elections, there were, I think, NDC, MPP, PNC was part, and we've been consistent from 1992 till date.
You've not crossed 5% of the election.
In 1992 election, we had 6.92 or 6.72.
Okay.
Unless I cross-check.
And that was the best performance.
Well, you can say that, but my best performance was how we were able to get a lot of members of parliament, people from our party, to represent us in parliament. We've been able to get up to 5.
Okay, so you want me to say the minority parties?
Yes.
Okay.
If you say, well, some other political parties who are not actually performing, if you deem it fit to give them that name, smaller political parties, it shouldn't be PNC.
Okay.
PNC is not a smaller political party.
Okay.
Because we have the structures across the country. We have from the top to the down.
Okay.
And we come out with some strong policies that are actually being conceived or actually being implemented by this so-called duopoly, NDC and MPP. So PNC is not a party you can actually just write it off. If not for anything. I don't think
I wrote any party off.
Well,
at least that's not my intention.
To demean the party.
Not at all.
Yes.
Not at all. That'll be the very last thing I'll do.
I
said fantastic. That I used the word smaller purely because of your performances at the polls. I mean, if you are making constant year on year, making less than 5% of the votes, then that is fair for me to say it's a small party. But that's fine. I'll call it a minority party.
Exactly.
And if that is politically correct, then I'll use that.
Yes,
so,
I think that is politically correct to call us a minority political party.
Right.
Because the NDC itself is a minority political party.
Right.
If they had the majority, they would have actually been in the helm of affairs in our country.
Okay.
Yeah, you are talking about some allegations.
No, so first of all, I'm asking, do you foresee yourself, do you see that you'd be better off collapsing your parties into the two major political parties we've come to know, the NDC and the MPP? Or you think that there's a future where Ghanaians would one day say, look, let's go for a third alternative, and you would become the third alternative?
Let me say this for a fact, that if the PNC would have collapsed, it would have been collapsed a long time ago. You can look at the history from 1992, the Fourth Republic, the parties who emerged to actually contest for elections. From 1992, there were so many parties that came in the line.
Yeah.
But the only
EGM
parties,
and all of
yes, the only parties that remain is NDC, MPP, PNC.
And CPP.
No. CPP came in the limelight 2000, in the year 2000.
The CPP, the Nkrumah CPP that has been there.
Nkrumah CPP was what actually...
I'm not talking about contesting election, but it's a political party we have all known.
Yes, but, you know, in 1992, the PNP, which was the CPP, actually formed a party called PNC. So the CPPs were with the PNC. So it was a breakaway, like the way APC came out from PNC, and CPP also broke themselves away
into PPP.
They actually broke away because the CPP were part of the PNC. Liman led the CPP with the name PNP. So Liman formed a political party with the help of Alhaji Morigala, a staunch CPP. And when the political party was formed, it was being administered by CPP members, or let me say Nkrumah is. So it was after I think the 1992 election, 1996, 2000. Some people also came out from the PNC to form CPP, and they say that is the original CPP and not PNC. So it's just a breakaway. And the CPP also, some people broke from the CPP to form PPP and the likes. So PNC, if PNC would have collapsed, like from 1992 we started contesting election, we would have left the scene.
Okay.
So PNC is a formidable party. And as to whether we should, dissolve the party to, join the other political parties, I think it is not going to happen today or tomorrow or anytime.
Okay, so you are looking forward to winning an election.
Exactly.
How is that? Isn't that far-fetched? Looking at your previous performances.
Yes. Let me just give you reference to some parties, or let me say what happened in some other countries. Okay, let me take Benin as an example. Should I use the big countries like France?
No, anyone that fits your
So
example.
let me use Benin for example. Their former president, he came out of nowhere, and because of his message, he was able to rally support from the people, and he emerged president when they went for the election.
Yeah, he came from nowhere.
Yes.
He had no history.
No,
He had no history
no
of-
political history.
Yes, of losing elections over the period.
No. But if you look at the PNC, at least we have a history that we formed government before, and our government was accused of corruption right after leaving government. Our former leader, the late Hilal Liman, may his soul rest in peace, came out and said that if you find any of my members corrupt, please prosecute them. From so many years to today, not a single person
has been prosecuted.
Exactly.
That could mean a lot. It could mean that perhaps I don't want to prosecute you because myself I am corrupt. So I know that if I leave power as well, you may prosecute me as well.
That is your side of...
No, I'm saying that it could mean, it's very, very ambiguous. You can't just give one meaning to it to mean that there was no corrupt person. That is a possibility. That is one of the possibilities. Another possibility could also be that indeed there are corrupt people, we've seen it, but I'm also corrupt myself, and so if I go and prosecute them, I'll be prosecuted.
Do you know why the PNC settled on service with honesty?
I have no idea.
In fact, initially, the party decided to settle on what's the name? Service with integrity. But I think we had some confrontation with the Ghana police. That is their slogan, their motto. So we changed it to service with honesty, and service with honesty because of the past, occurrences. What happened in the past? The kind of leadership. Hilal Liman, you media people, you always make reference to Hilal Liman actually sent a bill to parliament and he lost and he agreed. He, the president, with the majority in parliament, they sent a bill in parliament and the bill was not passed because majority actually decided that it shouldn't be passed, and Hilal Liman accepted. He later actually, changed it for the betterment of Ghanaians. So Hilal Liman was a liberal person, and he has actually instituted, or he has put in that the feeling, or he has actually brought us up. His spirit as in the party is actually guiding us. That is why we see what is happening now in the party. Some people who are not honest, some people who are corrupt, they are being exposed, and that is what is happening in our party.
Many people think that the minority political parties, as you've asked me to call them, and that of the minority political parties, PNC is not an exception, are time wasters. They are wasting the times of Ghanaians because the performances keep dwindling. I have the statistics here. So in 1992, you had 6.7% of the presidential elections. That dropped to 3.0 in 96. Dropped further to 2.5 in 2000. Dropped further to 1.9 in 2004. Dropped even further to 0.9 in 2008. Came up a bit to 0.2. No, of course. Dropped further to 0.22.
You know what?
Dropped further to 0.21 and dropped even further to 0.08. Well, if you look at the trajectory, it looks as though what the people are saying, that you're just wasting.
I'm not. See, let me tell you something. I'm not proud, though, the way our numbers are dwindling.
Okay.
But if you will agree with me, the current political dispensation we are experiencing in this country
will give you some.
No, we don't do politics of ideas.
Okay.
If you really want ideas, politics of ideas, come to PNC. We come out with the best policies, best. Not. We just come out with the best policies, but our policies are not actually. We don't have the voice to send them across. And in politics in Ghana, going around alone, you get to some places, they demand a lot of things from the politicians, and our party. Where are we getting our funding from? We do our own sacrifices, and that is what is actually dwindling. You can agree with me that now, if you want to contest even an assembly election which is not supposed to be partisan, you have to use a lot of money before you can win your what's the name, your seats, and that is what is happening in this country. If we talk of politics of ideas, look at the health insurance. Our former leader, he sat down and realized that you Ghanaians, you pay insurance for your cars. You care a lot about your cars. You don't want anything to happen to your car. If your car is spoiled, then you get sick. What about you, the individual who is actually driving the car? You must think about yourself first before you think about your car. So that was where he had the idea of we should actually come up with something we call health insurance for ourselves.
Okay.
Majority of the people do not have monies to actually go to the hospitals to take care of their health. So we brought, and the ideas how we wanted to do this health insurance, that is not what is being experienced here in the country. Different, and it's just world standard. We were thinking of, we brought about the idea of a card, but those who actually copied the idea from us didn't get what we actually mean. What we meant was that you get your card. Before your card will be given to you, at least we should have your health record. It should be digitalized. Wherever you go in this country, whether small or big hospital, your information is there. You must not,
move folders.
Yes, move folders and all of that. And when you are involved in an accident and they need to transfuse blood, they don't have to come and take the sample of the blood
and go
through the testing and
the
number of hours. When you have your health insurance, all these details are in. Immediately you get there, they know this. They just key in just one strike. All your information comes. This is what you need, and this is your condition, and that is how health is supposed to be. If you look at the idea of the Get Fund, it is the brainchild of the PNC school feeding program. Is the brainchild of the PNC. A lot of the policies.
Okay. So what is going to change for you to win then? I mean, you have very brilliant policies and you're not winning. So what is going to change?
Well, the will of God is stronger than the will of man.
Okay.
We are praying and actually, putting ourselves together to continue speaking to Ghanaians. One day they will come and realize that no, we should eschew politics of moneycracy, giving money to the people, so that we listen to people who have fine ideas, who can actually transform our lives. Ghanaians are already suffering, and Ghanaians are just upset. Ghanaians are not happy with the NDC and the MPP. They want an alternative, and that is what we keep on. That is what is giving us hope. If like the NDC or the MPP have been performing over the years, we know we have no chance. But with the abysmal performance of the NDC and the MPP, we have the hope that one day Ghanaians will come and understand that the PNC is the only choice for Ghanaians, and that can actually change their economic well-being, their physical, their mental, their everything. So that is why we have hope. You see me, I'm a youth. Somebody will say I'm wasting my time in PNC. I have hope. I know in the near future things will change. NDC and MPP won't be in power forever. And as we all know, power, it changes hands. In other countries it has happened. People have been in power and left power. People have no history of being in power and they've gotten power. Even we PNC, we have a history. If you look at the things Hilary Liman did when he was president, even the idea of Kufuor buses, people have forgotten that it's Dr. Hilary Liman who brought the idea of Tata buses. And those times, in 80s, Ghana was like Europe. Within 45 minutes, you go and stand at the bus station. There's a bus waiting for you to carry you to wherever you want to go. And that was what was happening in the 80s. This current time, when technologically everything has just transformed, what do we see? What do we see? So that is a difficulty. We are just praying and hoping that the media will help us send our messages across wherever it will reach. We will also do our part. Go to the grassroots, talk to people, to listen to our policies, and we will tell them that they should eschew politics of money. When they give them the money, we cannot stop them from giving the money because they hide and give it. At midnight, they follow you to your houses, 200 cedis, 100 cedis, vote for me. So we are just imploring Ghanaians. We are begging them that yes, the monies, we don't know how to stop them from giving you the monies. But what we can tell you is when they give you the money, you have conscience. These people are giving you the money because they are buying your conscience. They want to buy your conscience. When they give you the money, 4 years' time, that is when you are going to see them again. And they'll come and give you another chicken change. But we want to transform their lives. It's not the money they give you that can transform your life. That 200 cedis won't do. It will even work for you for even 1 week. 1 week, I'm saying much. Even a day. People who have families. So Ghanaians should actually, eschew this politics of moneycracy. That is the main reason why there's more corruption in the country. So this politician, you go and borrow a lot of money, come and share to people. When he wins the power, he used that position he has to lobby. All the monies he has lost, he must get them, pay his debt. After paying his debt, he must enjoy. That is why we see them in those V8 and all of that. It's not helping us. So Ghanaians, we are pleading that you should change your attitude towards politics. Let's marry politics of ideas. Let's marry people who can come out and change our situations. Look at the youth unemployment. Look at the number of people who graduate from tertiary and some other institutions. How many people are being absorbed in the system? What is the enabling environment for the youth who are coming up? There's nothing like that. Look at the growing what's the name? Growing, people here every now and then you hear people are missing. Look at the armed robbery situation and all of that. Yes, insecurity. It's too much. It's alarming.
Now let's come to the allegation.
Okay.
So there is an allegation, and this has become a popular secret, that many of these minority political parties are actually there to do the biddings of the NDC or the MPP. And indeed, you see traits of comment. If you analyze, you do a textual analysis of the comments from leaders of these, minority parties during campaign seasons. They are either skewing their comments towards one of the major people or the other. And most importantly, we also hear that they are actually heavily funded by the NDC and the MPP. What will be your response to this allegation, and it's become a perception and perhaps in the minds of a lot of Ghanaians?
We are in this country together. There's one thing I've realized the politicians are doing. People who are not supposed to be who are supposed to be seen as saints, even our pastors and reverend ministers and all of those people. We've seen how the politicians are actually entering into their administration. We've gotten men of God who speak for political parties in this country. Apart from that, we've gotten so many groups who are supposed to be chiefs. Chiefs will come out and campaign for a political figure, that his people should vote for this person. And these things are not acceptable by our constitution, are not acceptable by our norms. And that is what is going on. So how much less is the politician? The politician you are already in the field. So our parties, what our parties are suffering, what you are saying is true. Our party is suffering because of some of these things. Some of our members are being bought by these two major political parties. They are bought. That is the truth. Some of our members, they are just bought. But as to getting the proof, the evidence that this person has actually taken this amount of money from this particular person to do so ABC, that is a difficulty. If you are able to establish these things, I think the political parties will act, because these things are happening. It's not only in the PNC. It's happening in other parties. The CPP, the PPP, the whatever, LPG, the Kominini. They are happening.
Some are even establishing the major political parties are even establishing some of the parties themselves.
Exactly. Because that is what they say. That is the majority carries the vote. You look at what we do at IPAC. Whenever they are taking a decision, even if the majority have taken the wrong side, because they are majority, we accept them. And the political parties too, NDC, MPP, they are taking advantage. They are taking advantage. Whenever NDC comes to power, you realize that a lot of the other parties actually siding with the NDC. When MPP takes power, a lot of them side with the MPP because of no curfew. And that is what is killing us. But I bet you, and I want to assure you that there are some of us who are anti, NDC or MPP. We speak truth to power. We tell you when you are wrong, you are wrong. When you are right, you are right. And that is some of us, that is our stand. And you are doing this, sometimes you don't get rich. Some people, they came to politics to enrich themselves. So when they get the opportunity, they try to side with one of these people and they award them. Even the journalists. The journalists are not left out. If the pastors, people who are supposed to be neutral, what's the name, the chiefs, who are not supposed to engage in politics, are engaging in politics, how much more you, the interface, the media, who actually interact with the politician all the time? Most of the media men are also compromised. There are so many things they are supposed to talk about that can shape this country, but they brush them aside, and that is what is killing our country. So I'm urging, and I'm pleading with Ghanaians. Let's this is the corrupt. This is more corrupt than any other corruption in this country. If we don't tell ourselves the truth, it is the worst form of worst form of corruption that can happen to us. If we don't tell ourselves the truth, we see the truth and we say this is the truth. We see a lie and we just say this is the lie.
Right.
That is how we can move forward as a country.
Faruddin Yakubu is the Deputy General Secretary of the PNC. I would ask that you give us your concluding remarks so we can go to the telephones and hear what our people would say.
Well, what I would like to tell Ghanaians or the sympathizers of our party is that the PNC is resolute. The happenings they hear on the radio and TV recently is for the best. Is for the best, actually. In other political parties, some of these things are happening because of lack of transparency. There are people on the grassroots do not get to know what is actually happening at the top. But what is happening in our party is because we are being transparent. We are letting everybody know what is happening. What the bad people in the party who are going to be, who are being exposed, and the good people are actually emerging. So PNC as a party is a party with honesty. We come out with all the truth. And that is why they hear us all the time in the media that this person has. We are actually naming and shaming people. We want every Ghanaians to know that our party eschew people who are selfish, who want all the goodies for themselves, who are not in the party to work for the party and all of that. That is why they hear of our party in the media. So we are telling them that we are resolute. The PNC is a party that can actually form government and do better things for our country, Ghana.
Right. Thank you so much. Faruddin Yakubu is the Deputy General Secretary of PNC. He's been talking to me this morning regarding, activities of some of the minority political parties and how they could become the strong third force many Ghanaians have been yearning for.